Okay, what's up guys? I am here today with another camera video. This one is a new camera, but it's also a very old camera. So I guess I'll start at kind of what started this. About a year ago, my dad passed away. And when he was younger, when I was a little bitty baby, his first career was photography. He shot weddings and commercials and all kinds of good stuff. And then he went into the car business when I was still pretty young, 4 or 5. But he stayed being a photography nerd. And so there are always cameras around my house. Basically, it's no surprise that I'm super into cameras and stuff because I totally grew up with it. Well, the other day I went over to my mom's house, previously my dad's house, my parents' house, whatever. And I did a couple of things around her house and I found some old camera stuff. And I asked her if I could have it because it's an old 35 millimeter camera, a film camera. And she was like, sure. And she was like, oh, and also there's another camera that you might want because no one else in my family is into photography at all. So especially if it's a film camera with a manual lens or something, nobody else would be interested in that in any way. So she was like, yeah, there's another one that you might like. And I'm like, oh yeah, what you got? And she shows me a Pentax 645. Pentax 645 is a medium format film camera that came out in 1984. It came out just a couple of weeks before my second birthday, actually, in early May of 1984. I've got a picture of me that I will put up with my dad and his dad and his grandma that would have been really close to about the time this camera came out. And as far as I can tell, based on the serial number, he had to have bought it pretty new because it's got a pretty low serial number. And also, I don't remember him buying it. So that tracks with me being a 2-year-old. If I was 8 when he bought it, then I would have remembered it because I'd be like, oh, new camera in the house, So I didn't actually even know about this camera, but I'm guessing that he bought it sometime in early to mid 1984 when I was a little baby. It had been under my parents' bed for literally decades. So I took it home, and first off, it is very dusty. The first picture I have of it is even after we tried to wipe it down. I think my mom wiped it off with just a dry cloth or something, and it's still super dusty. So I'm like, okay, well, I definitely want to get this thing to work. Because number one, I've been kind of wanting a film camera anyway, and the fact that it's my dad's film camera and it's something pretty cool, a medium format film camera. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to make this work if I can. So I took it home and I cleaned up the outside of it. And I took it takes six AA batteries in the grip, right? So I took that out and the batteries were absolutely ancient. So they expired in 1996. And usually alkaline batteries have a 5 to 10 year shelf life. Their expiration date is 5 to 10 years after they were made. So I'm going to assume that at the newest, these batteries were purchased and installed somewhere around 1991, but they had leaked and corroded a bunch of stuff. So that was my first order of business. Luckily, the way this camera is designed, the battery holder goes into the grip and then the grip connects to the camera. So really the only corrosion was limited to the battery holder, which is fairly expensive for what it is, but it's still a replaceable part. So basically I wasn't scared to go nuts on it. If it had been inside the camera body that was corroded, that would have been especially bad because then you got to be real careful. But with it being just inside a little plastic and holder with metal contacts, I just went absolutely nuts with rubbing alcohol, a metal file, some sandpaper. I just went crazy on it, cleaned up the contacts. Got some new batteries. I have heard that it doesn't like rechargeables that much. So I bought just some regular alkaline disposable batteries on Amazon. They're actually coming today. It does power on with the rechargeables. Spoiler alert. But I've heard that just using regular disposable alkaline batteries is actually better. So at any rate, I bought some batteries for it. I cleaned up the contacts. I put the batteries in and it did absolutely nothing. And then I realized that I had the polarity wrong. When you first glance at it, especially if half of your battery orientation stickers are missing, when you first glance at it, it looks like all of, actually, I've got my B camera going down here, so I will actually show this. That'll be helpful. Let me get this out. Okay, so what it is see, these are all the rechargeables I have in it. I'm going to put some non-rechargeables in it, but let me see if this is the one. With this one, see, this side is missing its orientation stickers altogether. They should be down in there, but they are definitely not. But the way it works is that it's got these, I need a light. I've usually got a flashlight of some kind around here. Let's see what I got. Let me go grab, oh wait, yes, in my bag, cool. So I've always got multiple flashlights on and around me. I know I've got one now. Let me see. Put this on low so it's not super blinding, but okay. So see, down in here, you have these metal contacts. Take my glasses off so I can see my screen better. I'm definitely as old as this camera. So you got these metal contacts. You can see that there's still a little bit of corrosion in there on the sides, but it's kind of hard to get out. But you see the two, like this one and the one down in here, these are smooth. Okay, so the positive goes that way, but one battery on each side, the little metal spring here has kind of a tab on it, a button on it. Daisy actually noticed this and pointed it out to me. The metal tab that has that button, the negative of that battery goes that way. So this would be positive, this would be positive, this would be negative, this one with the tab there. So I oriented the batteries correctly, which, you know, you would think would make it work. And I put them in the grip and it did absolutely nothing. So I was starting to think that the camera was like just complete and totally dead, which is, you know, not really what you want. But I read something on, you know how that goes when you start going down the Google search rabbit hole of trying to fix something, especially something old and weird in general terms. So I found somewhere on some forum, some Pentax forum or subreddit or something, somebody said that there is a backup battery in the bottom. I can see where it goes, but I haven't managed to get the thing off yet, but I will. Might do that right after this video. But anyway, someone said that if the backup battery is dead and the main batteries, the AA's, have been dead for a long time, sometimes to get it to actually power on, you need to put the batteries in it and let them sit in there for like a while. So that's what I ended up doing. I just put the battery pack in and locked it into the grip and walked away and did something else. In 30 or 40 minutes, I came back and the screen was actually on. Let me put these batteries back in. And the screen was actually on. So it appears to power on. These cameras won't do a lot without film. Like, you can't really set like aperture or anything like that until you go. Let's get this going. Switch over to my close-up view so you can see, but you can see it says M1000 right now, which is basically just saying, hey dude, there's no film in here. But if you hold the mode button down and then you cycle through it, that's auto F4, that is aperture priority. Auto 30 is shutter priority. And then this one is, I don't know what auto P means. That might be like program auto. But either way, it is powering on and you can function. The way it's supposed to work is like, okay, you select aperture priority and then you use these up and down arrows in order to select the aperture that you want. But it won't do any of that without film. So that's where I'm sitting right now. I have ordered a few rolls of film. I ordered some Portra 400, but I don't really want to use that because it's fairly expensive film and I would like to actually shoot with it if I can get this working. I don't want to use that to like make sure it functions. So I found some, I think it's Foma pan or something. It's some weird, but I'll put a link to it. It was the cheapest 120 roll of film on Amazon with the fastest shipping. It was like $9 or something like that for a roll of 120. So that is supposedly out for delivery today. When I get that, I can load, let's see. So to get the film out, you take this, rotate it, pull the film caddy out. And so I will load the film into this bad boy and put it in there, and then I can actually make sure that the camera works and rolls the film in cycles and stuff. But yeah, it looks good. I need to clean up in there a little bit. It's got a little bit of dust, but nothing crazy. Nothing like the outside. And overall, it looks to be in very good condition. So hopefully it is and it works. It's got a 75 millimeter lens on it, which make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. Medium format, you know how like APS-C has a crop sensor or has a crop factor, so that like a 23 millimeter lens is approximately a 35 millimeter lens, full frame equivalent. Medium format is bigger than full frame, so it goes the other way. So basically what I'm getting at is the 75 millimeter lens is actually I think something like 45 or 46 millimeter equivalent. But yeah, so far everything seems to work. There's no damage to the lens. There's no fungus in there or anything. And when I look through the viewfinder, it's got the little split prism focus helper thing in the middle, and that seems good. The viewfinder looks good, and like the focus on the lens works. And when I run through like if I manually select an aperture on the lens, like that all seems to work. So everything looks like this is going to work. So basically, we'll see when I get film. So I will make another video pretty shortly, maybe even today, depending on what time Amazon delivers. But I should have a working Pentax 645 medium format camera in a minute. So that should be cool. But okay, I know that's a lot of like stream of consciousness rambling, but if you want a slightly more like put together version of this story and some more pictures and stuff, you can, I'll put a link to, I wrote about this on my website, it's michaelsigler.com. I'm going to put a link to that in the description as well. Also on the way, I don't have a lens cap for this bad boy, so I figured out the filter thread size. Let me see what that is right now. Down to the bottom. I mentioned 58 millimeters. So I ordered a 58 millimeter UV filter, just something to protect this old lens. And then I also ordered a 58 millimeter, like just cheap, springy, pinchy boy lens cap, so that I'll have something on it. But yeah, whenever the film shows up, I'll hopefully be in action. If not, I guess my next couple of videos will be troubleshooting and repairing a Pentax 645 medium format camera. But hopefully my next couple of videos are me shooting pictures with the 645 and then sending the film off and then waiting like 2 weeks and then eventually getting some pictures back, which is definitely a totally different experience than what I am used to. But we'll go through that. That should be fun. All right, dudes, I think that is it. Like I said, check out my website. And I will see you shortly with film. Later.